Welcome to the February market update with myself and Mr. Todd Murray. February's been a little bit of a, well, your words, not mine, a yo-yo month.
Yeah, up and down.
Last
month we're following high, and this month, I wouldn't say it's gone to the depths, down low of activity, but we were speaking with one of our brokers last week who addressed the team regarding what he feels is happening out there in the market is that over the last couple of years, everyone's become an OCR watcher. The announcements are obviously waited for patiently and then digested. And what we often have seen in the last 2 or 3 announcements, Diego, if I'm right, is the people digest what's happened and wait for the banks to accordingly lower their rates, then activity levels lift up again. Is that what
And
you think?
the problem with that, it's spot on, but the problem with that is the fact that OCR announcement drops, okay, beautiful. They start talking to their brokers. The brokers puts out new application with the bank, and it takes a number of weeks before, days, sometimes weeks before a buyer comes back and says, okay, I've got more purchasing power, which is the key, right? That's why people are waiting for the OCR. If you really think about why they're waiting, well, they're waiting because you're going to get better interest rates, right? With that, they're going to either be able to save on the repayments or buy a bigger house, one of the two. So they got to figure that out, and that takes time. But that doesn't change the fact that probably in terms of the last maybe 5 years, one of the quietest February, maybe not 2021, but it's definitely been one of the quietest February in the last 3 years, which is a bit surprising, right? Because we're always optimistic, the market is changing and it's always moving up or down, but in this case, February's been a little bit of an off month, which is...
Yeah, and saying that, we've put over 40 properties under contract and listed just under 40. So there is, when we say it's lower, probably maybe our expectations of what January offered in the first 3 weeks, we would have been, justified and correctly assuming that might go on. But there's been a larger amount of stock come to the market.
Correct.
The OCR announced there's lots of moving pieces that are probably, I wouldn't go call it a handbrake, but it's certainly slowed down. Price is still the same, pretty stable, quality buyers. Great houses are always going to sell well, as you know. But is that what would you agree?
I mean, look, what do you think is going to happen in terms of stock? There's a lot of properties coming on the market and they're not selling as fast as they did in January. I know January is only last month. They're slightly 2 different markets, right? So what do you think is going to come into the end of February into March?
Interesting question, and obviously, guys, if you kind of have a moment to think about that topic, is obviously the amount of inventory or homes on the market clearly has a real pivotal role in how we handle the campaigns due to, checking how much competition is in competition with your home on the market. All these factors come into it. I think as we do start to see the end of summer, traditionally, that's a selling market in that season. And then we start to see listings taper off. It has done all, since the dawn of time, taper off. So as long as we can keep up with the demand and eating away at that supply, hopefully we'll start to come back to an equilibrium. But at the moment, we're oversupplied. Yeah. And how long that lasts for, I don't know. But traditionally around April, May, the listings drop off. Little tip there, I would be selling a property around those months, but I don't know if we should put this on the podcast, but maybe we can.
Well, look, we was honest, right? Because at the end of the day, we don't know, right? We've got a gut feeling. We've got a very good helicopter view. We've got a good pulse on what's happening in the market. And I'll tell you one thing. There is an expression people say is the quiet before the storm. Now, that's what I've been telling my clients, because the last weekend at Open Home, it was quite a disappointing weekend overall. I know it's just a 1 weekend off, just a 1 weekend here and there. But the reality is that when you get in lower number than expected, there's disappointment, right? There's disappointment from a vendor's point of view. So you got to take that on board. And I genuinely think that it's the quiet before the storm. Now, call me a forever optimist, delusional maybe sometime.
I think, no, I'd never go as far as to call you that. Certainly over-optimistic, we all share that tendency, but I think it is exactly what you're saying it is. There's just lots of factors contributing to a little bit of a quiet, and we're having good homes are selling well. I think we had one of our colleagues had a property in Te Atatu Peninsula. It's always a popular suburb, as we know, had over 30 groups through over the 2 days. Another one in the same suburb had 18 groups. So different quality properties are attracting quality crowds. But yes, a notable, maybe it's taking time to get through the stock, I don't know, but it is genuinely a better market than we have seen in the previous 2 years for sure. And I'm sure we're about to see banks possibly come down a little bit. I think there's a 2-year rate in the 4s now, and there was a 3-year rate in the 4s 3 weeks ago. So I think as long as these numbers keep coming down, truly,
Truly, right? But here's another thing to keep in mind as well. If you're looking at geographically, and we specialize mainly in the central northwest here at Harcourt's Northwest Realty. But, I could see a very big differentiation of properties on the North Shore. We currently have a property in Greenfield, which we had, 2 weekends of double-digit figures. And then other places maybe a little bit more west, and nothing against west because that's where we live and breathe.
Yes.
A little bit quieter. But I think as well, if you're looking at it from a point of view of the North Shore is always ahead of West Auckland about 3 to 6 months. When the shore is busy, the West Auckland are going to follow. And that's because there is abundance of buyers that miss out on the shore and they're looking a little bit wider, right?
Yeah.
And I think seeing the North Shore busier than other places, other suburbs in Auckland, I think that's as well as another sign that things will become busier in other locations as well. So overall, all the ingredients for the recipe are there, right? The ingredients for a busy market, which of course we're a real estate agent, we want a busy market, but it's the economy thrives. And here's what agents always got a bad reputation because it's always about, but if you think about it, in New Zealand, it's not just the property market, but it's people that rely on the property market, all the builders, all of the contractors, or there is, if the side of the economy booms and the property market goes up and there is more activity, there is so many people that benefits out of that. And I think people forget about it.
I think they do too. And I think that's a scintillating analysis of what's going on up there. But just to digress a little bit, I just want to take the opportunity, not only as a colleague of yours, but as a friend, to congratulate you on another 5th year of Rate My Agent, which is a third-party rating system of the most recommended agent in not only Auckland and the North Island. So
thank you.
Well done, Diego, on that.
I appreciate it.
Not an easy feat. If you understand, you'll understand. But well done.
We'll see what happens in March, because I think it's going to be a little bit more exciting than February.
Thanks, guys.